What's up, guys? Back at it with more One Piece as always. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out and means a ton, but we gotta get into it because I don't need to tell anybody. This most recent development we've gotten with Luffy's fruit is quite controversial indeed. But even though it is controversial, we will not stand here today. We will not sit here today and let any ne'er-do-wells, no-gooders, or downright heathens say anything about this newest development about Luffy's fruit in general, taking away from anything this man has done previously. Okay? It's needless to say that going forward, Luffy's gonna be quite overpowered. How could you not be overpowered when you have the most ridiculous ability, the most ridiculous power in the world? Allegedly. Either way, I also think Luffy was going to be overpowered anyway, even if it was still like the Gumu Gumu no Mi and this was just a regular awakening. Let's be honest, between his overpowered Haki that's going to get even stronger, and his new developments with his Devil Fruit, Luffy was going to be an absolute cheat code and overpowered even if he didn't have a God Fruit. This just accelerated his, progress to becoming extremely overpowered. But either way, we're not looking ahead, we're looking back. Because no, I don't think Luffy having a Sun God Fruit for the entire series really takes away from anything that he has accomplished or anything that he has done. One, because, well, the normal just base powers of this Sun God Fruit are basically just the Gumu Gumu no Mi. Everything we thought about Luffy prior to this still kind of stands for the earlier bits into the series up until his awakening. This Sun God Fruit, its base form, just gives the user a rubbery body, a body with the properties of rubber, and it allows them to fight however they fancy, however they please, limited only by their imagination, which is the Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, Gear 4th, all of that stuff, still just using the rubbery body in different ways, and bringing the smiles to people's faces. Gonna be honest, actually, that did kind of help Luffy out in quite a few scenarios where he had like a bunch of people on his side. But outside of those scenarios, which is none of the stuff I'm talking about anyway, I don't think this really took away from anything. It didn't. Luffy was not overpowered as soon as he ate this fruit anyway. This fruit really becomes overpowered when you awaken it. Until you awaken it, this fruit's not that big of a deal, let's be entirely honest. Hell, when Luffy first ate it, he didn't really get any stronger. He just went from being a kid to being a stretchy kid. He still had to work his absolute ass off to get to this point. Let's not forget all of the crazy ass physical feats that Luffy did that were completely due to him as a person, his strength, and his willpower. Well, Zones have a will of their own now, don't they? Maybe his willpower's affected. When Luffy's carrying two of his crewmates up a sheer rock cliff that is like frozen over, and he is digging through his rubbery skin to the bone just to climb up this thing. Is this rubber, this God Fruit that doesn't just enhance physical strength right off the bat? Is that helping at all? Doesn't really seem like it to me. That kind of seems like Luffy is just an absolute monster who worked his ass off and would also do anything for his friends. Nothing about a rubbery sun god there. The fire abilities would have been nice. Now, the funny thing about all of this is it actually kind of raises the question. Why isn't a sun god fruit a little bit more powerful when you first eat it? You think a sun god fruit would be pretty powerful. Like, you eat that and you're like, oh man, I got a good fruit here. Sort of, not really. You, like I said, kind of just turned into a stretchy boy instead of being a boy. Okay, either way, that's kind of interesting, right? Well, there might actually be a reason for that. And we also already mentioned the reason earlier in the video. Zoan fruits have a will of their own. This might have something to do with the will of the fruit. Do you think the sun god fruit, something this important with a will of its own, something that holds huge importance in the series, do you think it would want any average schmuck to be able to eat it and be like, well, I'm super powerful already, this is going to be super easy to get to awakening? Wouldn't that fruit want its user to have a strong will, a strong body of their own? Wouldn't it want them to go through trials and tribulations to prove that they have what it takes before getting these insanely overpowered abilities? Depending on how far this whole will of the fruit goes, it's possible that the fruit could, at least to some degree, understand its importance in the world. You gotta think about it. Why else would it have been evading the world government for 800 years? There's no way we brought up zones having a will of their own and this fruit evading us for 800 years and one of the Gorosei being like, it's technically possible. It's not impossible. Why would we bring that up? How would it have happened? 800 years, and they have not been able to get this thing. That is outside intervention right there. That is something, probably it. It's a weird series, guys. It's a really weird series. Probably it having that will of its own. To some degree, understanding its importance in the world. Now, you might say, if it knew that, why wouldn't it want its user to be super strong so it could protect the fruit by protecting themselves? While that is a good point to bring up, and it does show why I like to do discussion and speculation videos, because I can start getting on both sides, and I see this point that's good for this side, this point that's good for that side, yada yada. I love it. It's fun for me. Either way, that's a good point to bring up, but I would say the awakening of the fruit is the most important thing. So the fruit wouldn't want anybody who happens to get their hand on this fruit, maybe a bad person, to easily be able to awaken to the powers of the sun god, to be the next Joy Boy. Probably wouldn't be a very good thing. So yeah, it might make it a little bit harder to stay away if the average user isn't super strong and it would get reincarnated into being a, stationary fruit. But still, I think the reason why this fruit isn't that strong at first, the reason it doesn't take away from any of Luffy's prior accomplishments for me, is possibly because of the fruit itself and the will that it has. The will of a god. I don't know. These are all interesting thoughts to me, and on top of everything, I do wholeheartedly believe that, yeah, this really doesn't take away from any of the stuff Luffy has done previously in the series. Except maybe that whole bringing the smiles to people bit. That might have helped Luffy get, this gigantic fleet of all these people that are just like, you know what, Luffy is great. We love Luffy. All sitting there with big smiles on their faces. I don't know, I'm just goofing off speculating. That's what I do. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Helps out, means done. But more importantly, go down in the comments. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I love talking to all you guys, and I respond to pretty much every single one of them. At least, almost. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time. I'm out.